So as we are present and we're being with our breath and we're here in our life experience, we want to see what is upcoming in our world. What do we have zeal for? Here comes the sun. Are we focusing on the clouds, or do we feel zeal for our life? Do we feel enthusiasm? The power for this month, there's 12 powers of man, and the power for this month of October is zeal. And I love the thought of zeal. Do we have zeal for the things that are going on in our lives? Are the things that we're talking about, this is my experience, this is what's going on next in my life. Do we feel excitement about it? Children are excited. They're excited about whatever's going on. They're just in their moment, and there's so much we can learn from children. That's why Jesus said to become and allow yourself to experience your own inner child. And so I love stories about kids. I love watching kids. I was talking to my brother on the phone about a month ago, and his wife was away, and he has a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, so I knew our conversation was going to be distracted, right? So I'm talking to him on the phone, and I hear him say, as he's talking to me, "Camden, come back." This is his 5-year-old. "Camden, come back." And I said, "Well, what's going on?" And he said, "Camden heard the ice cream truck, and he has just taken off across the street with his piggy bank under his arm." I just thought, what a great idea of zeal. And of course I hear my brother going, "I think there's $30 in there, come back." But the idea is, what's your ice cream truck? What's your ice cream truck? What is it that has got this excitement in your life? It's obviously for the choir members, it's singing, and I'm making a film of people awakening at Unity, and what is it that is your ice cream truck? Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, at 93 years old, Stephen, my favorite affirmation, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do that which is mine to do. What is it that brings you zeal in your life? And if not, we want to really uncover that and to know that yours is going to be different. Your zeal is going to be different than anybody else's. And if it feels like something that your family can't understand, perfect. That's usually the perfect thing because we have come to want to be like everyone else or like our family or be these, homogenous folks, but we're not. We're not. Diversity is praised here, right? That means go out and do your thing. That means go out and do your thing. I heard a funny story about if we all have to agree on something, things get to be very boring. And it's like if you went to the Mother's Day buffet and we all had to take a survey on what we all liked, right? So we all walk in there and there is olives. Olives. We had a lot of things that we could choose from, but we asked everybody, and the only thing that everybody could agree on is olives. So here we are, we have olives. So we get to see that everyone gets to choose your zeal, your ice cream truck. And that's really your only job is what do I love? What turns me on? Where do I feel enthusiasm? In restoring our pipe organ, there was a DVD that was created, and we just thought, are there people in this congregation that really care about this pipe organ? And do we want to see if there's a committee that could form? Well, this committee has been people that love the pipe organ, and it has brought incredible energy into their life. I was talking with Trish Henderson last week, and she came together with Pam Porter and Mason Wolf, and they were part of the communication part of our committee. And she said it was like divine mind awakening as we put together this brochure about the organ. And she said, I hope this never ends. And she's talking to me. I'm just saying, this is zeal. This is zeal. It's not like she's going, oh, I have to do something for the church, and I feel sorry for Carlene, and the pipe organ's falling apart. It wasn't that at all. She loves the pipe organ. I'm just like, aren't we lucky that our pipe organ is having problems so Trish gets to have some zeal? It was amazing. Sorry, Carlene. I know, she said, well, whatever I got to do. And I would like to invite our pipe organ committee to please stand up so we can give you a hand. Pam, I know you're there. And I know a lot of them are out of town, so. Thank you. And many of our committee are out of town, but do come to our party on Thursday night. And the main thing is we're raising enthusiasm. I mean, there is a lot of money, that $300,000 that's going to be raised for this experience. And we're creating the seed money in our congregation, so we're going to go out to foundations and other people that will get on board with our zeal. But do you see that the zeal was something that was in all these people all along? Lynn Twist, who wrote a book called The Soul of Money, says that for many people, we talk about making a living, but many people are making a dying. If you're doing anything in your life that doesn't bring you enthusiasm and zeal, you're not living your life purpose. You've just forgotten. You haven't been supported in living your zeal. And the other thing she says is that when you've been living a dying, that all that money you saved being unhappy, a lot of that money will go to pay for illnesses that you have after you're not doing that job you didn't like in the first place. I'm just the messenger. This is what I've been reading. So it's really important. And this is the place where we remind you how important that is. So let zeal be part of your life. Let this upcoming of your life and what you're talking about in your world feel really, really enthusiastic to you. You know, the story about these 33 guys, these miners. I mean, for heaven's sakes, half a mile underground, their way out of their mine has collapsed. And I have a feeling as community, as we do here, they had to get into some zeal about living. As I read the article, that said they had an iron will to live. They took 2 days of rations and spread it out for 17 days. And they had to decide as a community, we're going to have some zeal for living. We're going to decide that no matter, even though this seems like a pretty dire situation, we're going to get on board with living right here, right now, one breath at a time. And I love this guy, Mario, who I think has become one of the most famous, that came second out of the mine. And when the camera came down there, at one point, he was cracking his other miners up. At one point, he was laying down to go to bed, and he said, I hid the money, and he acted like he died. And they all come over, and Mario, and he wakes up, and he's half a mile underground. I wonder if I could get, humor going at being in that situation. But, zeal, enthusiasm, here comes the sun. What does that look like in our lives? Because on the other side of that cloud is that sun, and that's where we are invited to live, in that zeal and that enthusiasm. So finally, the peace of that sun, that light of God that's within each of us, that can never be put out. We may forget about it, we may fall asleep to it, but that light is always there if we will pay attention to it. And I will invite us all to reflect on the things in our lives that have felt cloudy and have felt confusing and have felt, I don't know how to deal with this. And as we've been willing to lean into the discomfort of the pain and the suffering, not avoid it, but be with it, there was a greater part of you that emerged. I know in recovering from alcoholism, that was absolutely what happened to me, and many, many dark days of not knowing. My whole world revolved around drinking alcohol. And what is it that has happened in your life that has been that thing that as you were able to be with it and look at it and be honest about it, it recovers. And then you see all the people that want to wake up with you.